Hello everyone. Today we will see AWS Relational Database Service, that is AWS RDS service. Okay, now let's go to the AWS RDS documentation. Okay, now this is what a page where we can see the information of AWS managed database service, which is RDS. Now if you could scroll down, so there is one video which will help you to know that is why we should have Amazon RDS. Okay, then if you scroll down, the benefits of RDS like easy to manage, choice of engines, operational expertise, high availability, and innovating with Amazon RDS. Also we have lot many applications or deployment options where we choose this RDS, and these are the use cases like build web and mobile applications and all. And if you scroll down below, so there are customers who are actually getting benefited because of AWS RDS. Like there is a Mint customer is reduce their database cost by 25% with Amazon RDS. Okay, and then there are more customers, you can say Cathay Pacific also use this AWS RDS. If you move ahead with Samsung, then there are more AWS customers you can see inside this particular page, right? Now let's understand like what this database is like. As we know that we have something called as a machine which is called as a web server. This is your web server. Okay, and let's assume that there are people, or we can say clients, okay, who are accessing, okay, this web page, okay, which is nothing but a kind of, let's say, website. Take an example of amazon.in. Okay, and obviously this web page is having a database which is integrated with. So this database we call it as, okay, holding a customer information, right? Now this database is what exactly we'll be understanding is, so this database, if you wanted to run, okay, and if you wanted to create, okay, because database is a software actually, so that has been provided by different vendors like mysql and postgres, right? So then we know that there is an IBM DB2. Okay, so this particular software of a server you install on a system, maybe you install it on a EC2 machine, okay, or maybe you install it on your on-premise, okay, and then you try to access this particular database using some credentials, and then you create your DDL statements, DML statements, like actually you create your tables and you store the data inside database in terms of schema, okay, which we call it as a database, right? And then there is a web end, this is called as a front end. So this is what a front end is, and this front end is actually access your database. Now this all things that if you wanted to set up on your EC2 machines, or maybe running it on a on-premise servers, so this entire things that you have to manage, right? So in case of EC2, obviously it's a cloud machine, so you are just managing your installations of the database, or it's kind of, let's see, taking a backup of it. But in case of on-premise, everything like a network architectures and its underlying hardware and operating systems also, you'll be managing it. Okay, so now from on-premise you shifted to the EC2, and then on EC2 you have configured this database. What if it could happen that this all database which will be with the choice of engine is getting ready, okay, with a few clicks, okay, and you get an endpoint just to access it, and list of the settings of monitoring, and let's see, we can say taking a backup and giving you a high availability also getting managed by AWS. So this is called as a service from AWS, that is RDS, that is a relational database service. Now this is what we have understood, like what kind of customers are getting benefited and all. Now let's go to the console and let's see how this RDS demonstrations we wanted to go with. Now let's search a service called as AWS RDS. Now this is what a service is: Aurora and RDS. Aurora is a database name from AWS. Okay, so we have come to RDS service, that is Aurora. Let's click on a databases. So as such, we don't have any databases present, so let's click on a create database and launch a database instance. Okay, now you will see the options inside a database, like there is a standard create and there is an easy create, right? So we'll just see the options of standard create and then we'll go with the actual launching of easy creates. Fine. Now in a standard create, so we have an options to choose a database engine also. Now AWS is saying that yes, you have a choice of choosing an engine also which you are familiar with as per your features, right? So we have an Aurora. So Aurora is AWS database engine, you can say, and rest of the databases you can get it for something called as open source databases also, and something called as a proprietary databases also, right? Then scrolling below, these are the engines that you can choose it. So let's see that this is a mysql, which is a very popular database engines we'll be choosing. Then there are engine versions also you can select. So we'll just see the options which are there, like default one. Okay, now the templates, choose a sample templates to meet your use case, like production, dev and test environments or free tier. So obviously if you are actually testing your actual workloads, then you can choose a dev and test, and you know that your workload is actually running and your customers are actually using this database. So this is what very critical you can say in case of this requirement. So obviously we'll go with the free tier, but we'll just go with the options to understand under production and dev and test. So there is option called as multi-EasyDB clusters, multi-EasyDB instance deployments, and single DB instance deployments. So multi-easy, you can see that there is a primary instance, okay, which will be running, and there are two standby databases. This is one is master and two will be in a different availability zones. This kind of architectures you will get for let's say high availability. This is also another options that there is only one standby, and this is if you wanted to like not to have multiple standbys, so you can have only primary also. That's completely fine for your case, right? So these are the options of your deployments, you can say. Settings, now here you're supposed to give a name to the database cluster, so you can change this name also. We'll keep it as it is. Okay, now as we know that when you install a database, we should have credentials, because anyone, if they get a particular endpoints, they can access it. So we are securing with the help of username and password. So credentials management, so there is a separate service from AWS, that is secrets manager, which will be holding actually your credentials, okay, in a safe way. So but if you have your credentials handy with you, then you can create and you can keep it with you. So let's see that we have a self-managed credentials to be chosen. So I'll choose a password, let's say something called a strong password, and I'll copy this password, and let's see, I'll save it in one, let's see, task, right? Fine. Okay, so going below, there are instance configurations, like you have a choice of selecting a class of the instance also, like there is a compute part. Storage also you can configure, but presently as a managed service we will not be configuring these parts. Even there are additional storage option also you may choose, okay. Then if you want to connect to this particular instance as an SSH or maybe EC2 instance connect, so you can choose like that, but we do not want to connect it, as we know just need endpoints. There is a default subnet group, so you can say. Okay, now there is called as public access, that is S. If you do S, then your database will be accessible publicly also from an outside one. If you say no, then it will be within the VPC environments. Now there is a group, security groups that you can create, okay, and you can actually filter out your rules for your particular database connections, like a port number and all. Then there is a proxy also options which is available, and there are tags and database authentications. You can have your password based authentication, that's completely fine. And yes, there are monitoring also, that you can keep your insights, and then the database which will be stored, which will be an encrypted also with the help of AWS KMS keys. Even additional monitoring settings also you can enable, okay, inside enhanced monitoring sections, what kind of logs that you wanted to send it to the CloudWatch for extra analysis or some kind of, let's say, CloudWatch events, right? and this way the cost will be there for your productions. Okay, how it will be cost for a monthly and all this all entire things will be transparent. Okay, now I will quickly go with the easy create option. So I'll go with mysqls, and there is a option called as easy create. Select mysql and okay, so easy create. Now this way we can select mysql engine and dev test environment if you want, and we'll quickly go below, and then we can click on a create database, and that's it. So now this will be launching our database very quickly. Okay, now what I'll do, like we have already created a database which is having an availability so in another region. So I'll go to the Paris region, and we have a one database which I'll make the starting, okay, instance. Okay, now here we supposed to install mysql client software, so we have to update the machine first. Okay, now this is getting updated. Okay, so let's update the machine. Apt update. Okay, fine, so it's updated. Now just install mysql client tool. So apt install mysql client software, and sorry, spelling is fine. So it is already installed, so let's check with the version. So the mysql version, spelling okay, so this is already installed, fine. Okay, now we have one more client also, that is sqlectron. This also I have installed. This is a client software, GUI client software you can say. If you wanted to install it, you have to go to the sqlectron, and here you will find the installation files, and just need to install your GUI version for your operating system. That's it. Okay, now let's go to the database which is already in the running state. Okay, now it is starting. So meanwhile let's refresh. It will take some time to get started. Yes, now it is available. Let's modify only one thing, which is called as a password. Okay, that we wanted to keep. Okay, now inside a modify is not modifiable state. Okay, we'll go to the central regions. I think our launch database is working. Okay, this one, and let's modify for the password change. Scroll below. Yes, there is a self-managed passwords. I'll say auto-generated, no, strong password. Fine, so let's copy this password, or I'll enter my password like admin @13pas10. Let's enter this admin @13pas10. Let me see whether I am able to. Let's copy this password also, continue and modify db. What's the error? Okay, let's go with auto generate now. Okay, now copy this password. Fine. Okay, now let's update. Done. Now click on this database and we have got an endpoint. Now let's go to the EC2 instance, and the command is mysql -h, which is for the host, then -u for the username, admin, and the password we supposed to enter, and this is what a password is. Sorry, password we supposed to. Okay, so enter. So mysql -h, which is the endpoint, then -u admin, and -v for the password. Now the password is this one. Let's copy it. Check with the security part. Okay, done. So we are on a mysql prompt. Fine. So we have accessed this. Now let's check the commands, few commands. Show databases. So these are the databases are there. Now let's create a new database. Create database. Create database. Let's see, employee. Okay. Let's say hit enter. Sorry, command is something wrong. Okay, so my database is created. So let's see. Yes, now there is an employee database, employee. Now let's use employee database. Okay, database change. Now let's see show tables. Okay, okay, empty set, so there are no tables. Now let's create table customer. Create table customer, and let's say tuples id in the form of integer, and this will be auto increment primary key. Okay, then next is name is the type is varchar, and email, there is one more field, email, which is also of type varchar 50. That's it. Okay, now the table is created. Fine. If you say okay, now let's see show tables. Okay, now you can see the customer is created. Okay, now insert the data inside, insert into customer, name and email and values. We have, let's see, admin @gmail.com. That's it. These are the two records that we are entering it. Employee dot customer name is not correct. Okay, now this one row is created, so select star from customer, and yes, now we have got a one entry actually, right? So this way we can see that we can insert a data inside, so I can insert more data also if you want, like with the help of a stored procedure also. So let me take a one stored procedure just to show you. Let's take one of the stored procedure and just call it Okay, now meanwhile we'll use this sqlectron function also. Yes, this one. Add. Okay, now here there is a name of a database which is employee. This is mysql and the host is okay. Copy the endpoint also. Admin and the password is this one. Okay, so employee is the name of the database and I'll say test it. Yes, connection is successful. Let's save it. Now here also from this UI also we have connected to the database, and let's connect and check the information. Now we have an employee database. Inside an employee we have a one customer table, and here you can execute the statement. Yes, we are getting a one record. Now let's insert more record also, which we were trying with the help of stored procedure. So let's copy this stored procedure and call this stored procedure for inserting records. Let me go EC2 instance, copy and hit enter. Okay, and let's call this check. Okay, your table name should be replaced. That's it, sorry. Okay, so here we supposed to okay, what I'll do, I'll say here only like okay. So meanwhile in the code we'll see Now it is for the customer. Now it should create. Okay, then insert call. Let's copy this. Call this. Okay, now it is completely fine. Show databases. Okay, select star from customer. Yes, now we have got the 10 records. Can you see? Right. Now here also we can see like inside a sqlectron. As such, we were having only one record. Let's hit it. Now we have got the more records with the help of a stored procedure. Also, if you recall this insert calls again, you can say there will be more 10 records will be added. So here also you can see. Yes, now we have got a 20 records again. And here also if you could execute, so we'll say more records. Okay, so that's it about RDS. This is a complete tutorial, so understanding how to connect with the RDS, how to launch it, what are the different configurations and all. So we have seen in a Canada Central, so we have created this, and this is another different kinds of database tool also we have launched, which is an Aurora actually.